All right, here you go. You can see it in action here. Got a bunch of stuff in it. I got, well, you can't see that very well with the lighting, but a bunch of memory cards, charger, couple cables, IR camera, 360 camera, GoPro spare battery for this guy, DJI mics. Well, I'm pretty happy to see this completed after many failed attempts. Ultimately, heat creep became a significant issue with this. So with the Silk PLA, I think Silk PLA is probably a little more susceptible to heat creep than most softwares. Like PLA already is. Heat creep meaning the extruder area gets too hot on the print head and softens the filament, so it bunches up. It widens, it thickens before it goes into the cold end of the heat break and causes it to jam, and then your extruder is to be click, 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 and you're under extruding and failures. And so this was like a 15-hour print, and so last attempt, it made it about halfway, and then it stopped extruding. I was like, oh man. So I had to figure out a way. So basically I modified the G-code. And I modified the G-code for a couple things, but primarily this point is that I modified it to pause every 10 layers or so, lift up out of the way, and crank the fan and get the nozzle temperature down to basically room temperature, and so to let some of the heat in the extruder end and the cold end dissipate, cool off. And so that evidently did it. Very happy to see that, and that took me some experimentation and a bunch of tries and plenty of failures to get that to work properly, but I finally got it to work properly. And one concerning thing is I don't know what these little plastic boogers are over here. Slightly concerning. Interesting. The bottom of that support. That's the bottom of that custom support. And so, as 3D printing FDM style often does, which is really cool, is it recovers even if it was printing on air, but it ultimately did what it was supposed to do. See, that piece initially went all the way to the bottom, and I was actually concerned about that maybe not sticking. You can see those two little nubs there. Though I put those there intentionally to secure that support piece, and it fell off, and then the thing printed successfully. Go figure, which is good because that would have been annoying if that stop pin wouldn't have been there after all that printing. That would have been super annoying. So, where's that? So I also have these inserts here. I hope this is the right size. So this Silk PLA also is a little problematic in that with the standard Z offset, it sort of bunches up on the first layer like that. So if I change it to 0, it prints much better. And so on my K1 here, I'm printing some of these with the offset 0 right now. So these go in here, and I split these in half and then snapped them together. I made these little snaps, so that way both sides have the color pattern from the cool print bed on the K1, right? And so this should slide in here. I'm hoping it fits. Yeah, there it goes. Nice. So I wasn't sure how much I'd actually like this doubled arrangement, but I wanted that just allowed me to get the finish on both sides, so I could do it either way. All right, so now the cool thing about this, let's do this. Well, so this handle, I don't know if you can see what's going on here. Come on. No. All right, let's see if I can hold. There we go. All right. So this handle has got this print in place hinge. Ooh, look at that. The hinge partly failed, but looks like it'll still work. How does that happen? That's weird. How about this side? This side, the hinge is a little goofy also. So the thing is, so I've been printing like custom supports and print in place hinges and pivots and things like that. And I usually do like 20 thousandths of an inch gap. But that's also depends on your layer height. I gotta get rid of this custom support. And on the other side. See, I like to do custom supports, that way I don't get a whole bunch of support where I don't actually need it. Alright, and so now, you can see these stop pins. Let it do that. And then it just sits on the table like that. And so I can do this. And this. I wish I had more dividers out here. I think I have just the one. I think I have a couple more inside and more printing. But you can see that basically I can... So I have, multiple phones that I use as cameras. I have a little GoPro. I have a 360 camera. I have my IR camera. I have a bunch of these, and I have battery packs. And what else? I guess that's mostly it for me to carry on here. Probably a couple cables too. But, when I go to take these from my shop into my house and back, it's a little cumbersome. So now I have my Caddy with a handle. And plus it's always just fun to, and I also have a stop at the bottom here so the handle doesn't go past the table level. This little triangular stop. Let's see if I can show that. This little triangular stop. So that way when I lift it up, it doesn't go below the handle doesn't fall below the surface. So very happy this finally came out. Like I said, it took me a bunch of tries. And so I'll show you how I modified the Z offset. So you may or may not have seen my previous video on adjusting the Z offset. Interesting. This is another custom support piece that I did because I wanted the handle to be nice and rounded, contoured instead of square so like this part of the handle is rectangular, sort of sharp edges, whereas this part, the part I'm holding on to, actually I wanted it to be nice and curved. So it's hard to see it, but it's very ergonomically curved, so it'll be comfy. And so what was I saying? I was saying that so this is the so there you go. That's the curved shape of the for some reason that doesn't look, that's right, because it's on edge. So that's the shape, but you don't see the underside of the handle, you see the print bed side. But anyway, the Z offset. So in the early version of the Creality print slicer with the black, I don't know how to say it. It's basically two different versions. I mean, I guess it's up to version 5 point whatever, so I guess there's 5 different versions. But I use 2 different versions. The old version, I'll call it, and the new version, which is quite a bit different. And there's a lot less features in the new version, like no temperature control capabilities in the new version, which is weird. And so I think I might actually use AI to generate a script that'll allow me to adjust the temperatures more automatically. Say, hey, I need a program to modify an existing G-code for 3D printing, and I want to input temperatures at what layers, and so open this file named this in this folder and modify the temperatures everywhere, or the fan speeds, or the Z offset, or blah, blah, blah. And so, and then it'll spit out a program, and then it won't work, and then you have to debug it and troubleshoot it and eventually get it to work. So I'm probably going to do that. I don't know. I may not, because I can just do it manually probably a lot quicker than that'll take. But it'll make for interesting content, maybe. I don't know. So I'll probably end up doing that. For example, with the Silk PLA, I'm finding that I want a less negative Z offset for the print, and if I want the first layer smooth, and also, especially with this colored print bed, this textured print bed, and the cooling issue, the heat creep issue for larger prints. I want to be able to automatically put those into the G code, and so I'll probably do that. So anyway, I think that's about it for this video. Let me know in the comments if I should have mentioned anything else, or if you want to see something else, or any critiques. Make sure you like and subscribe, and maybe share with your like-minded friends. And I was messing with taglines, because you're gonna be, Cletus McFarlane, do it for Dale, we'll frickin' see you later, blah blah blah, or Sam Pilgrim to the sky, or so I was thinking about just mashing some of those up, or AVE, whatever, however you say his channel name. I'm gonna keep it a family show, but I'll just say, so keep your glue stick in a vise. No, yeah, keep your glue stick in a vise and don't let your hot end. How do you like that? All right, stay tuned for the next one. All right, here you go. You can see it in action here. Got a bunch of stuff in it. I got, well, you can't see that very well with the lighting, but a bunch of memory cards, charger, couple cables, IR camera, 360 camera, GoPro spare battery for this guy, DJI mics, 4 different phones, and I'm also recording with my main phone. So you can see I got plenty of utility here. We got the handle that pops up. Works great. Took a bunch of tries. Here's a early, almost successful try, and waited all that time for it to fail like that, unfortunately. You can see here, severe under extrusion, and replaced the I swapped over to the quick change nozzle that's integrated with the heat break. It's all one piece. And so while I was in there fixing this major clog, I figured I would just throw that in there. It wasn't even intended for that printer. It was intended for my K1. Somebody had said that the K1 Max already comes with that. I guess maybe the later ones did. Mine did not. So I swapped that in, and then I was like, problem solved. And then I printed this one, and it also failed. And I said, okay, I need to do something else. And so that's when I modified the G code to add in cooling cycles every 10 layers or so. And that did the trick. Man, yeah, this silk PLA is tricky in a few ways. It prints super nice, like no spider webbing. But definitely first layer comes out a little rough if you don't back off the negative Z offset, and the heat creep will clog it up on the longer prints, and so need to be careful of that. And yes, I have the lid off of the printer. Didn't do it. And the other thing is the custom supports. They fall off all the time. I've never had that happen with any other materials that I create custom supports for. So you have to put little securing features, like little pins, sort of solidify them to the main print in order to stabilize them. And so, but yeah, just figured I would show you next to the, in action, and next to a couple of the failed ones. And I mean, I had a whole bunch of that were just, half a dozen layers thick, basically just the bottom, that failed when I was trying to figure out what the problem was. Stay tuned. We'll see what else I can come up with. Thanks for watching, and keep your glue stick in a vise, and don't let your hot end.